Ironically, this topic for the multiplayer reveal for Modern Warfare 2 we're discussing in this video was actually almost uploaded last night, which now in hindsight, I'm kind of glad that I decided to scrap that video, as I did with the initial coming changes to Season 4 Reloaded video that, well, would have been up on Thursday, but you never saw while I was away on a trip that would have been posted and then immediately nullified by that blog post that went out detailing the upcoming changes just a few hours after my road trip began. But while yesterday's almost upload of the multiplayer reveal would have been more speculative in nature, a more so when can we expect to see it, today we got a report that actually gives us a genuine target to look at, and surprisingly, we've got a bit more time to wait than you may hope for. As we go along, drop your thoughts down below. Do you like the sound of this time frame for a reveal and perhaps a beta shortly to follow, or are we hoping to see something happen here in the upcoming weeks? Whatever the case, drop your thoughts below, but if you enjoyed the video, you find it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on the video, and if you're new to the channel, do be sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated with all things Modern Warfare 2. We're on the road to 500,000 subscribers, so if you guys would like to stay in the loop with everything while helping us out on that road to get there, I'd love to have you in the community. And finally, do be sure to check out my friends over at Gamer Advantage for the best blue light glasses on the market, but more on them in a bit. For now, let's take a look at Modern Warfare 2's now rumored multiplayer reveal. So today's report comes from Tom Henderson, insider that we've talked about here on the channel before, who posted a report for tryhardgames.com which read Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer reveal set for September. Going on to say, despite rumblings that Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer is set for a reveal soon, sources have implied that the mode is set to be revealed at the beginning of September prior to the official multiplayer beta. An early September multiplayer reveal would be consistent with the last 2 years of reveals, with Black Ops Cold War's multiplayer being revealed on September 9th, 2020, and Vanguard's multiplayer being revealed on September 7th, 2021. It's understood that Activision has favored these late multiplayer reveals these last couple of years for undisclosed reasons, with the publisher set to resume the trend moving forward. It's not entirely clear when or how the multiplayer mode will be revealed, but some form of live stream with developer interviews is to be expected. Now, that said, early September, it doesn't give us a specific date, but it gives us a decent window here that we can look forward to. First or second week perhaps here of September, and that's something that may be a little bit later than you were hoping to see. But that said, is this time frame something that deviates or falls in line with stuff that we've seen previously? I mean, to me, I think there's two different sections of how you can discuss this: the old marketing and the new marketing. Of course, the old, no, it doesn't fit in, and it's well behind schedule for what we've seen beforehand, but with the last 2 years, it's right in line with, as Tom stated, September 9th being Cold War's and Vanguard's being September 7th. So what are the major differences here? Why does this necessarily matter? Well, the big deviation this year as opposed to the last two is that it's not a Warzone reveal, whereas this year it's a traditional reveal. Warzone kind of forced Cold War and Vanguard to be revealed later in the year due to big key portions here with that game. I mean, Warzone launched in 2020 in March, so that would be something that normally we'd see April or May is when a game would be revealed, though they weren't going to do that after just dropping a free-to-play massive overhaul of an experience. And then same thing goes a year later. Vanguard wasn't going to be revealed in the spring whenever a brand new map of Verdansk 84 was being added in as a sort of anniversary changeover to the Warzone experience. But I mean, Modern Warfare 2 reveals late for what reason? I mean, I guess you could end up taking that same logic that Fortune's Keep just dropped, but I don't think that that really has the same weight as an anniversary update. That's where a lot of people have started to get concerned, and I totally understand that sentiment, because I mean, if you're revealing something so late, is that cause for concern in terms of the developmental state? So where I go with this kind of follows this report. It states that it's been planned for a long time, for months even ahead of schedule, meaning that just like this was long planned to see the game reveal in June, this same thing happened months ago, earlier in the year, to be planned for September. It's not some last second change up due to developmental troubles or a bad game state, or at least as reported. If there were to be any sort of troubling reports of major changes or turmoil in game dev, we'd have heard them by now. I mean, we've had our rumors about DMZ and stuff like that, but that doesn't have anything to do with multiplayer. But with nothing pointing to any shortcomings or failures by comparison to recent years, I mean, we heard plenty about Cold War and Vanguard and their shortcomings with development. I'm not saying the game state couldn't be an issue, but right now I'm not necessarily worried about it just yet. I'll be waiting for hands-on time with the beta to make that. Tom then followed up with a similar sentiment, stating that this was always the plan. So while the game may or may not be exactly what you want, I mean, that's a huge thing to remember here. It's going to be great for a lot of people, and I'd put my life on it that it's going to piss off a lot of people as well. This later reveal doesn't seem, though, to be a product of any mishaps or unfortunate turns in that development. If I were to guess as to why it's so late, I mean, if Activision are taking anything from Cold War and Vanguard's sort of pre-launch and then main year of supports, I'd be okay with this being that. Cold War wasn't quite my jam, and Vanguard was, well, was kind of just a shell of a game that hasn't really had any substantial updates since the launch outside of like a singular map here and there. But if I were to give an educated guess, if game state is not an issue for why this is being revealed late, I'd bet this is something sales related. You and I will probably never know the true meaning behind it, but I'd wager that right now, name alone for Modern Warfare 2 has sold enough pre-orders for the game to be going solid sales expectation-wise. But I'd also wager that they've learned over the last 2 years that reveals closer to hands-on experience than the launch of the game will see larger surges in revenues, in sales in the game, as opposed to seeing the game in June, July, and August, and having to wait months then at that point, and thus maybe a lot of players losing interest by the time the game actually comes out. That'd be my assumption. I don't see any other reason a billion-dollar company would take chunks of the last 2 years that were subpar by comparison if it didn't work out, so that'd be my only guess, but really, that's all we know. This also, though, with a later reveal, would also then be coupled with a time frame for Modern Warfare 2's rumored beta, which wasn't mentioned by Tom, but recently was mentioned by Ralph, with a target date of September 15th to start, following by that 2-weekend standard rollout that we've seen as long as we can remember. That would kind of make sense now if both of these reports do end up becoming true, because if you want comparable timetables, last year Vanguard's reveal was September 7th with a playable beta on September 10th, 3 days after the reveal. The year before that with Black Ops Cold War, we got a reveal on September 9th, and even though the beta was a month later, we got our first playable build of the game on September 18th, just a week and 2 days later after the reveal with the alpha. The year before that with Modern Warfare 2019, we had the reveal on August 1st, but while the beta was in the middle of September, on the 12th, 42 days after that reveal, our first playable experience was the alpha just 3 weeks later. So especially the last few years, we've seen it pretty close to the chest with reveals and then followed shortly thereafter by playable builds happening quicker rather than later. So it is certainly possible that they're doing that again this year. But that said, that's where we're at here at this, and that is everything that we know about with the reveal right now for Modern Warfare 2. Again, is this correct? Spot on? Slightly off target? Entirely incorrect? We don't quite know with 100% certainty, but Tom has in the past had a very good track record, so it is something to consider. Before we wrap everything up, though, a reminder to check out my friends over at Gamer Advantage. I've talked about them for a year and a half now, almost 2 years at this point, and I still swear by them. If you're working on a PC, looking at a screen for any prolonged periods of time a day, you may already know the effects of blue light. I've had trouble combating blue light for years. I mean, this whole YouTube creator life isn't as glamorous as major vloggers will make it look. We're not out partying every single night. Honestly, I'm probably at my desk researching, noting, scripting, recording, editing, uploading videos for like 10-ish hours a day. So over the years, it's absolutely worn on me. Gamer Advantage is absolutely the advantage of me, Espresso, head and shoulders better than any generic pair that you can find on Amazon. Their comfortable, durable, and lightweight frames make them a phenomenal choice for all-day use, and their clinically proven lenses help me more than I could personally convey. I swear by these guys, and if you'd like to check out the technical breakdowns on their site, or you'd like to learn more, head on over to the link in the description below. And if you want to pick anything up for yourself, use code Espresso at checkout for 10% off your order. But that said, that is the multiplayer reveal and potentially beta leaks that we've heard so far, so let me know your thoughts down below. Liking the sound of it, disliking it, whatever the case, drop your thoughts below. But if you guys enjoyed the video, you found it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on the video. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing running all things Modern Warfare 2. But for now, thanks so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.